I've heard such terrible, terrible things about you. How many of my people did you kill just to reach us?
It's nearly the end of 2021, and as fans of Outriders, we have a lot to look forward to. Over the last 8 months since launch, we've been through our highs and lows, but for the most part, the game is in its best state ever. And no, this isn't some video where I tell everyone that if you aren't yet playing Outriders that you should be, and again, no, this is not a sponsored video. I'm just saying what I think many of you already know. What's going on, everybody? It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and this isn't going to be a terribly long video, but with the steady improvement of the base game, and now with the new Horizon update and Endgame 2.0, we need to look at the next major event for Outriders, that being the upcoming Worldslayer DLC, set to release sometime in 2022. But before we dive into today's video, thank you again for all the support you've been showing my Outriders uploads. And just in case you aren't yet a sub, please smash that sub button and ring the bell to receive all future upload notifications from my channel. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Now, as someone that was a part of the New Horizon Early Access event, I got the opportunity to experience everything you now enjoy as part of that update. Transmog, Tiago's shop, and all the new expeditions were there on display, and I got several hours with it all just to do as I pleased, no tour guides or expectations from our hosts. So, I thought I was pretty much, in the know when it came to the future of Outriders until I watched the reveal event for New Horizon, and out of nowhere, PCF and Square Enix dropped the mic on us with the announcement that Worldslayer, a full-on expansion DLC, would be coming sometime in 2022. Now, just in case you haven't yet seen that trailer, it is playing in the background, and I will of course include a link to that official trailer in my video description below. But as I sat there watching the short clip during the Outriders broadcast, I was simply floored. Where was this coming from? What was in it? And when the hell could we expect this DLC to drop? And that's, kind of what I wanted to cover today. We know from developer interviews as far back as April 2021 that based on how the gamer base initially responded to Outriders, the studio was prepared to support it with new content. And an April 8th article from Screen Rant, citing several posts from both GamesRadar and Forbes, Bartek Kamita, the creative director for Outriders, was quoted as saying, quote, "The studio was happy to create more content in the future if people like the game enough. Many stories the developers came up with didn't make it into Outriders at launch," Kamita said. "Some of these could end up being added later as DLC, and they would only take the form of significant expansions with self-contained stories." And from the looks of this trailer footage, this is quite possibly one of those stories that didn't make it into the base game. Now, just pointing this out, but during this really brief trailer, we see what is possibly an altered being walking onto the scene, but with some sort of black ooze surrounding her, almost akin to, something you would see in a Venom movie. There are also several new enemy types shown towards the end of the trailer, holding various new forms of weaponry, and even one swinging what looks like a giant chain with a blade attached. Now, unfortunately, this is all we have to go on at this point, as PCF has been extremely tight-lipped on anything Worldslayer related. But that doesn't mean we haven't seen anything at all. Cloud Plays posted a video a short time ago showing a screenshot from the base Outriders game from the first time we encountered Dr. Sahidi, and it is intended to give us a brief tutorial on how to interact with and use the crafting system. Now, Cloud points towards the weapon shown in the center of the screen, which is currently not in the game, and based on the color scheme and entanglement of whatever that is surrounding the weapon, it looks eerily similar to the black ooze flowing around this mysterious figure in the trailer. I'll leave a link to Cloud's video in the video description below. Now, as recently as December 13th, we saw this post on the official Outriders Twitter account showing a pyro about to fire off a phaser beam in what looks like the original intro portion of the campaign, so, really nothing out of the ordinary until you read the text. Charging up for the new year and our new Outriders expansion, Worldslayer. Now this really caught my attention because if history holds true, this is the standard MO for how Square Enix and PCF work when it is nearly time to drop new content. They like to stoke up the flames for a consistent time period on, Twitter and Reddit, and then suddenly and dramatically out of nowhere, they jump out of the darkness, yell surprise, and hit us over the head with something new and unexpected. Just look at New Horizon for an example of how they like to do things. And this brings me to my final topic for this upload, and it comes down to some absolute sheer speculation on what could be a possible release date for Worldslayer. And I credit Dakes Gaming, a fellow Outriders YouTube content creator who happened to pop into my stream yesterday and threw this out there for chat to just grab hold of. Now, Dakes theorized that Worldslayer would drop in April of 2022, and being a bit more specific, on April 1st. Now, why is this a significant date? Well, because it would be the 1-year anniversary of the original launch of Outriders. And based on what I am seeing from this Games Rant article outlining all the expected releases for April 2022, that really looks like a great time for Worldslayer to pop in and grab the headlines. Now, from the looks of it, only Stalker 2 seems to be hitting in late April, and then Forspoken, another Square Enix-backed title, dropping late May. So based on the current calendar and speculating on the April 1st date for obvious sentimental reasons, Worldslayer would be uncontested as an early April drop. And thank you again to Dakes Gaming for the idea, and I will include a link to his channel also in the video description below. Now, this doesn't address what Outriders faithful can do in the meantime, as New Horizon was a brief blast of adrenaline, but more is needed to keep the momentum churning. Now, I've suggested 7 items that the game needed in order to keep its place as being relevant in the market until Worldslayer drops, and once again, look in this video description for that video link. As always, I really look forward to reading your thoughts about anything Worldslayer related. Don't forget to smash that sub button and ring the bell to receive all future upload notifications from my channel. If you could be so kind as to rate and or share this video, it really goes a long ways towards getting it promoted within the YouTube algorithms. Now, I mention this every Outriders video, but you are all invited to join my community Discord server, which has ballooned to nearly 4,300 members. Just check in the video description, click on the open invite link, accept those rules, and you are in. We've got a dedicated and experienced group of moderators waiting to get you pointed in the right direction, along with channels for builds, tips and tricks, and the extremely popular LFG, or Looking for Group channels. Don't get overly frustrated with the lack of a decent matchmaker system or in-game comms. Join my Discord and be in a group up on mics knocking out your chosen content in a matter of minutes. Trust me when I say that we've got an awesome Outriders community and have every angle already covered for you. Also, don't forget to find and follow me on Twitch for weekly streams, and of course, you can follow me on Twitter for all my latest posts concerning most things gaming related. Links to all of these platforms in the video description below. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.